are on the verge of discovering when the moon. All right, and it all boils down to this one exceptional tweet that was sent by Mr. Poole. Friends, there is no doubt that today's film is rather remarkable. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary for you to get your popcorn and join us as we examine the extent to which Mr. Poole has attempted to communicate with us. Now that we have established that, we can get started. You might be wondering, hey Extravod, what are you trying to say with this one tweet? How could we possibly determine the answers to the questions we are currently trying to answer? Well, I was conducting research on this egg here as Mr. Poole has demonstrated. I thought to myself, this is strange. There was a delta for December 4th, guys. However, I wanted to conduct a small amount of research before I made any statements about this subject. And it appears that we are essentially aware of the moment in time when XRP will skyrocket. Extravod, can you explain how this tweet is connected to the timing of XRP's mooning? We should start with Mr. Poole. That seems appropriate. I would like to try some veal, please. I appreciate it. This photograph was tweeted out by Mr. Poole at this time. All right, the image has a rather odd appearance to it. Isn't that right? Actually, it is difficult to understand. It's kind of like, all right, but in some way, it is connected to this clandestine organization. Misrium is a Masonic rites that combines esoteric mysticism with humanitarian principles, and it is based on the old basic rites of Memphis. All right, so it appears that this is some sort of secretive club which ties back to Freemasonry. All right, as is evident from the logo that is right here, you can see, all right, it's going to be the eye in the center, the wings, and the egg. All okay. The exact same image after all is said and done, we are brought to this particular page, which is called the International Association for the Preservation of Spiritualist and Occult Periodicals. And this, folks, is something that piques my interest. All right, as we can see from the winged egg, which is the same logo that is located right there. Quietness, patience, and honesty. We are making progress, so I think we are on the right track. Guys, we're making progress. You must pay attention to this. I am telling you that in some way or another, this is all related to XRP. This website that they're hosting has digitized versions of the NF. All right, when you consider these different volumes, folks, you'll see that it goes all the way up to something like volume 4. All right, and I did go through some of these. There are a lot of ideas that are, as I indicated, ceremonial in nature. It is the most complete archive that has survived of the official journal that records the ancient and original rites of Memphis, Misrium. All right then. Is it just a straightforward archive then? Is it the case that you are able to get the real PDF if you simply click on the page here? In the section where various things are specified. All right then. There are several distinct things going on here. Okay, so should we return to the very first tweets that were posted by Mr. Poole? We should have a discussion about the significance of this. Therefore, the sign in question may be traced all the way back to the organization known as Ordo Templi Orientis, which is a direct allusion. All right then. It is an abbreviation for OTO, which is the most esoteric inner core emblem, also known as the winged egg. Therefore, let us watch this and make the connections, everyone. We shall make our way to that destination when the time is right. I would simply like to introduce you all to this and to provide a brief introduction to what it all signifies prior to delving into the potential connection it may have to XRP at a later time. Participate. The English magician Aleister Crowley and subsequently joined the Ordo Templi Orientis, an esoteric Germanic lodge that instructed members in ancient alchemical mysteries. This individual is Edward Alexander Crowley. However, he is most often known by the name Aleister Crowley. He referred to himself as the most nasty person in the entire planet. He was of the belief that he was the great beast. In addition, he decided to change his name to Aleister Crowley so that the numerical value of his name would be 666 in both English and Hebrew as well as in Greek Kabbalah. The year was 1904 when Crowley communicated with an alien being by the name of Ewas. In the year 1904, he introduced a book that was titled The Book of the Law. This happened because his wife was essentially serving as a sort of medium for this work. This book also announced that the victorious child who would seize the kingdom was to be crowned as the new god, so replacing the slain and resurrected god who had abdicated the throne. He possessed an extraordinary level of intelligence. Blindfolded, he was able to play 8 games of chess. Painter, poet, writer, and mountaineer, all these professions were practiced by him. You could fill up 5 pages of a book with him since he had attained such a high number of Masonic degrees. It is exceedingly unlikely that any other Freemason in the world has been bestowed with as many honors as this one has. Then he started performing rituals in order to bring about the arrival of this conquering child and the crown that he would wear. And so he served as the leader of the Ordo Templi Orientis. All right, which brings us back to this point here, which is referred to as the winged. So let's take a moment before we move on with the movie to clarify what this might signify. In a way, it does bring us back to the subject of secret societies. All right, now that you are aware of the situation, you can see what is so amusing about this egg from Mr. Poole. A rabbit hole is a path that leads to a collection of different rabbit holes. If an egg is found in a rabbit hole, it is likely that people have made references to it. It is also likely that there is a serpent in the same location, correct? This is an intriguing fact as it is directly related to cryptocurrencies at the present time. The golden egg that has wings, as well as the symbols of eternity and regeneration, is from Mr. Poole. Now I will attempt to explain the significance of these symbols, particularly in relation to the flying egg, and how it is somehow tied to XRP. Just watch this. The primordial egg, if you will, symbolizes the beginning of the universe and is considered to be the source of all creation, the possibility from which everything arises. The secret germ of life is represented by this symbol in the teachings of the Ordo Templi Orientis. The wings that are found on its sides are symbolic of spiritual ascension, emancipation, and the alchemical principles of dissolution and coagulation. In addition, they are symbolic of the two serpents that make up Kundalini or Caduceus. Following that, the downward-pointing triangle that contains an eye, either the eye of a horse or the all-seeing eye, is a traditional symbol of the sovereign sanctuary of the OTO. Alright then. The eye in the triangle, which is the eye of Lucifer, is the governing body of the highest degrees, because Lucifer is the carrier of the light and the revealer of Gnosis. Alright then. Is it about Lucifer that we are discussing right now? Returning after having left. This is how the Babacugs guys view this situation. It has been a significant amount of time since the Red Alerts got in touch with Babacugs. He managed to figure out the code in some way, and this is the way that we know he was aware of it from years before. His statement was not a falsehood. At one point he tweeted that XRP will rise at the same time as Lucifer. Do you all see this? The name Lucifer refers to the morning star, dawnbringer or morning star. Take a look at this. The concept was validated by David Schwartz, who affirmed it as far back as 2021. Do you require any of the basic necessities of life that you may get on Amazon? What do you all observe at that location? A name of a corporation, the one that has been mentioned exactly here, was referred to as Morningstar AMC1. Do you guys see this? This is in fact from David Schwartz as well. Therefore, it is most likely the case that Mr. Poole posted this tweet since this situation is 100% true. Correct. Returning to the discussion of certain symbols that signify a variety of various things. The light bearer, often known as the Eye of Lucifer, is one example. And the hexagram that is included within the triangle symbolizes the unification of opposing forces. There are 7 stars that are positioned around the egg, which are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Up in the sky, there are 2 stars that are likely to return to their original positions of 7 or Ls. These 2 stars are considered to be secret. Typically, they are taken to represent the 7 planets of conventional alchemy and astrology, or the 7 chakras. Okay, so the official records of the OTO, which were written by Theodore Roos and then later by Aleister Crowley, contain this very same design of a winged egg. Alright then. So, when we talk about the 7 chakras, one thing that is interesting about them is that each one of the 7 chakras is associated with a different color. The crown chakra, for example, has a different shade, and the colors associated with the others are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. There are 7 distinct hues available here. What is amusing about this, when you take a look at it from Mr. Poole's perspective, is the following. Did you guys notice that with the eggs? It is colored in the following hues: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Is it true that there is one that is missing? The 7th egg, also known as the highest chakra points, is it not? Fellas, the golden egg is located right here. All right then. As a result, it can be stated with certainty that it is an interesting experience. And don't forget that the source of it all can be traced back to their flicking the switch overnight. Correct. Ultimately, the reason it comes back to them is that they flipped the switch overnight due to the 7 chakras. Isn't that right? Do you recall the eggs that had